Alright. Alright, I want to investigate. Yes, down there. I don't know why I really bother rotating saves, but... Oh, not you right now. Like, it really isn't necessary, but just get a habit from other games. March 21st. Gatewater Hotel. On guard's hotel room. Where are we? We're in Mr. Matt Onguard's dressing room. This is our client's room. May I help you with something? Where? You're Mr. Onguard's lawyer, correct? I gathered as much. I also looked for lawyers on my end, but to no avail. How did you know I'm his lawyer? You were just saying that he is your client. In a situation like this, the only person who would use such a ward would be his lawyer. Wow. It's a simple deduction, really. She has that investigation logic technique? How? It's like 3 games before Edgeworth knows to do that. Truly, this is a horrifying new opponent to have. That said, I don't know. I mean, is it wrong to say that, like, I get the appeal immediately, though? She's kind of got that, like, looking down on you energy. Although I think she's actually on the smaller side. They don't really give you height details, though, but I think it comes up. The trial is tomorrow, and Mr. Onguard's situation is looking rather grim. So you came here, one stop in your mad dash, to find clues to build his case, correct? Well, you're not totally right, but you're not totally off either. It's really not the time to be showing off, Mr. Nick. I am Adrian Andrews. I hate to waste time, so let's get down to business. To defeat the Huns. Did they send me daughters when I asked for sons? Alright. She may be of small stature, but appearances can be deceiving. Yeah, see what I mean? It's always funny to me because it's like of small stature, but like she looks like any girl we've been across. It's like, so we know Maya's on the small side, and Eeny Meeny, who was actually Mimi Meeny, was apparently bigger and stronger looking, but you couldn't tell that to look at their portraits. Like, you can tell somewhat for, like, especially the guy ones sometimes, or if it's like a little girl, like, obviously Pearl's very small. But otherwise, it's like, I mean, if you're just the lone person in the middle of the screen, you don't really get much in the way of perspective on them. How old is she? Oh, we don't get to know yet. Okay. Anyways, let's ignore her to examine the room. That's the bedroom over there. That's a bed? Wow, they have really big beds here. I don't care about that apparently, okay. There's some samurai-looking clothes on the sofa here. I think that jacket-looking thing is called a happy. Whatever it is, I'm sure something like that would make a great souvenir. Maya would be absolutely thrilled. Yes, Phoenix. Steal some evidence for Maya for later when she's done being kidnapped. It's probably Mr. Onguard's suitcase. For someone who is only going to be here for the award show, this is a lot of stuff. Looks like he has about 3 days worth of clothes in here. Stars really are different from us, aren't they? Looks like dishes left over from dinner. Dinner for 2 at that. I'm sure they're Mr. Onguard and Miss Andrews' plates. Looks like they had T-bone steaks. What's with Global Studios and T-bone steaks? I mean, I don't know, it's an easy thing to draw us on the plate. There's a giant bone sitting on the plate. I don't really like meat. There's something weird about this plate. I just wish I could put my finger on what it is. Psst, Phoenix, it's because there's a knife missing. Is that it? That might be it. Okay. I'd like to ask you about this. I told you, I hate trifling matters. It's a waste of time to show me things that are of no relevance to me. Wow. This is the first time I've been shut down this badly. Okay, they might actually not say much. Okay. You were the one taking care of the arrangements for this press conference, right? Yes, that's right. But Mr. Ongard said he didn't know about it. An interesting curse she has. Blank, but with the shell on one side. A conch, or a conch. Is that what he said? Huh? Actually, I didn't know all the details either. It was a request from the publicity department. All I did was help out and do what I was asked. Oh, I see. I wonder about that. I wouldn't take her to be the type of person to do something without knowing the details. Okay, you want anything to say with that, you know anything to say with that. I don't think you care about the Magatama. No, you don't. Do you know about the camera? No. Do you know about the hotel guide map? What about the guitar? What about the wine glass? Okay, I actually think the wine glass she would know about, but we're not there yet. Alright, have you seen Maya? Alright, will you say anything about Pearl? No. You know about Gumshoe? No. Will Powers? That's Mr. Will Powers. He's an actor contracted with Global Studios. He's a very nice man. A man with a good heart. But that's all he is and ever will be. Ugh. What a horrible thing to say. Society doesn't care about genuinely nice people, Mr. Wright. Huh? For a second, her face twisted in pain. I wonder if something happened to Miss Andrews. Did you know the victim, Mr. Kurita? Yes, I knew him. The world is such a small place after all. Did you know about his rivalry with the Nickel Samurai? Honestly, they were like children when it came to that. Time and time again, those two competed with each other over the most trivial things. If either one of them wasn't so stubborn, then maybe no one would have needed to die. I've got a hunch that this woman knows more than she's letting on. She must know why Juan Corrida was killed. I asked to become Mr. Ungard's manager. He's a pleasure to manage with his nice disposition. Mr. Ungard does seem like a rather weak-willed man, always doing as he's told. He's always saying, my manager, right, Mr. Nick? Alright, do you have anything about that? Anything about Francisca? No. Okay. I didn't think so, but you know, I always like to take whenever a witness shows up or whoever, just shove everything in their face. Get over with. Night of the murder. I assume the first thing you need to know is what everyone was doing that night, correct? Yes, that is correct. Then I will tell you. Before the award ceremony, I had dinner with Mr. Ungard. In this very room, I might add. Dinner? What did you eat? I told you, I hate to waste time with trifling details. If you took a look at the table yourself, you wouldn't need to ask me, bitch. I bet she's a lot of fun at parties. Look, Phoenix, a lot of guys are into this. And girls too. A lot of people are into this, let's be real. When the award show was starting, I headed for Viola Hall. And after the show ended, you came back to this room? No, I had some small errands to run. I helped with the preparations in the lobby. Oh, preparations for the post-ceremony show, I guess. When it was time for the post-ceremony show, I came back to call for Mr. Ongard. After that, I went to visit Mr. Kurita. And that's when you found his body, isn't it? You really held strong through everything. Yeah, she just seemed to be mentally tough as nails. Relation to Ongard. So, about you and... Stop right there. You aren't seriously about to ask how Mr. Ongard and I are related, are you? Sorry. I have no idea how he could have chosen you as his lawyer. Why did she have to go and say something like that? She hurt my feelings. Oh, Phoenix. Mr. Nick, calm down and hang in there. You're a goddamn adult. I'll give you a shoulder rub to relieve your stress later, alright? I'm glad the 6-year-old child has more composure than Phoenix. Already gave you my name earlier, but I'll add that I'm Mr. Ongard's manager. His manager? Speaking of managers, did the victim, Mr. Kurita, have one? No, he did not. He didn't? Global Studios has a very different policy from Worldwide Studios in that Worldwide Studios does not assign individual managers to their stars. I see. This industry is very ruthless and unforgiving. Actually, you look quite ruthless and unforgiving yourself to your poor partner. Dragging a little girl like her to places like this. Honestly. You're wrong. I'm doing this to help Mystic Maya. Pearls. Calm down and hang in there. I'll buy you a juice later, alright? Phoenix, you can't solve every problem for Pearl with juice. She's a little girl. Her bladder is only so large, and her kidneys can only do so much for fluids. Motive for murder. Do you have any ideas? As to? As to why Mr. Kurita was murdered. Why would you ask me about such a thing? I'm just doing my job, so do you have any ideas? God. Damn this case. Miss Andrews, why won't anyone tell me something? Why are you all hiding secrets? Sorry, but there's nothing more I have to add to this conversation. Is it a Psyche-Lock, Mr. Nick? Yes. It's getting to be more and more of these lately. Almost like this is the final case and they really want to cement this gameplay mechanic. Alright. I presented everything at her. I talked everything at her. Do I have... guitar case, wine glass. Oh, okay. Because I don't think I have enough evidence for any of the Psyche-Locks yet. March 21st, Gatewater Hotel, Viola Hall. Oh, Mr. Wright, how are you? Ah, Mr. Powers. Have you been here the entire time? I arrived at kidnapping and courtrooms. With a K. Mortal Kombat! Hey, Captain. Oh, have you been here? Yeah, I read that. Yeah, people connected to the murder aren't allowed to go home, let alone leave. Okay, I already investigated everything here, right? Yes, I did, okay. Adrian Andrews, she's age 23, Ongard's manager, an intelligent woman who seems to have it all together. I think I've talked with you about everyone else except, anything you say about Francisca? No, okay. Kicks open the door of the hotel. Hey, Darth. You can do that. They can't leave, apparently. Let's see about Adrian Andrews. Hey, that's Miss Andrews. She's Matt's manager. Actually, I was interested in her for a little bit. Just a little. So Mr. Powers likes this type of woman. What do you know about Miss Andrews? I mean, Phoenix. Of course he likes this type of woman. Like, this poor man, he was born to be a sub. So anyone who has a hint of Dom energy is just like, please just take care of me. Okay, that's not fair. But I do think he is weak-willed, so it would not be surprising for him to look for someone who comes off at least as being stronger. Well, see, here's the thing. I don't really know her, you know? There's sort of a small rumor going around about her right now. A rumor? Ah, if you're interested, I'd be glad to share what I know. He's so happy. He looks like a lion that's just found his next meal. Oh, I think I actually had to do that. Okay. Do I have anything else about these? I can't believe it. A kidnapping. Do you remember what the person looked like who gave this to you? It was that bellboy, and I didn't suspect a thing because he looked like such a normal old man with his monocle and that one scar running down the entire length of his face vertically. Old man, huh? Have you seen Lotta's camera? Nope. I assume you have anything to say about the hotel? Nope. What about the guitar case? That guitar case? That was Juan's. I'm guessing you've seen this case before? It's pretty famous by now. Stands out because it holds the bright red guitar. The bright red guitar, the Jammin' Ninja's signature item. But if the guitar is so important, how could he forget it for the award ceremony? That does seem a little strange. Wine glass? And what about the crime photo? Okay. It's always funny to me that, like, of things I can, like, present, like, a crime photo to people. Like, I think if I go back to the office, I could even be like, Pearl, my 6-year-old young girl assistant. You wanna look at this dead body? But hey, if you don't do this, how is she gonna grow up to be a tough teenage girl in the sequel trilogy? The Nickel Samurai. Can you tell me a little more about the Nickel Samurai TV show? Okay. The Nickel Samurai is an action hero program aimed towards kids. It's the sequel to the Steel Samurai. I see. This time, there are 3 samurai brothers. Aluminum Samurai. We call him Aluminium Samurai over when we dub it into English over there. You mean you have a separate US and UK dub? I mean, that's not weird. Region 1 versus Region 2? What are you, a plebe who doesn't know anything about dubbing? Sorry. This time, there were 3 samurai brothers. Aluminum Samurai, Tin Samurai, and of course, the Nickel Samurai. It's a love Y in Neo Old Tokyo. I see. Wait. A love what? A love Y. This girl, Sayo, works at a tea shop and all 3 guys fall for her at the same time. Oh. I guess the Y shape is like the 3 brothers colliding over this one girl. Anyway, Sayo is actually the daughter of the evil Strawberry Clan's leader. Sounds like an unusual situation. Like Romeo and Juliet and Romeo and Romeo. Like Romeo and Juliet times 3. Yeah. The strange thing is, this sort of forbidden love story is really big with the office ladies. Strawberry Panic. Hey, Katie.
Um,
Yes, Pearl?
what happens next? I want to know. Miss Sayo, does Miss Sayo fall in love? She does, doesn't she?
Every Sunday at 8 a.m. Oh, come on, Will. Don't do that to the little girl. You can give her a little something.
I'm going to stop watching Kids Masterpiece Theater starting this week.
Can't believe she's really considering it. And just like this, yet another young girl has been ruined for life. But how else are soap operas gonna get watched, I guess? Jammin' Ninja. So what's the Jammin' Ninja TV show like? Oh, it started from a remake of an old movie, to tell you the truth. You know what? Hold on a second. Alright, I had to adjust and I didn't want you to hear the mic shaking around. The Jammin' Ninja, like the samurai shows, is geared towards kids. Okay, you say that, Will, but you just said that one of the main elements of the Nickel Samurai is its love why for office ladies. Kids and office ladies are two separate demographics. Like maybe it's better to get into that than the Steel Samurai stuff. The stars keep dying, so yeah, that's true. I don't think they've ever done a soap opera thing. Plus, at least for the next 8 or so years, Rakugo is pretty safe for now. Are they separate though? Really? Okay, there's some overlap. It's the story of a ninja who can't scale a wall, but became a big pop star anyway. What? He was a really lousy ninja. Absolutely couldn't do any ninja things right at all. But boy, could he sing. With his trusty bright red guitar in hand, he took the ancient world by storm. A ninja? With a bright red guitar? And then, the final fight in front of his beloved Princess Misula. Jammin' versus the Muromachi 5. Suddenly, our brave hero catches a not-so-jammin' cold the night before Battle 3. Aw, that's too bad for him? Yeah. But this kind of pop music-based love story is something high school girls really like. Yes, Pearl? I'll also tell you they are, yo. Miles Edgeworth and his pure Gat Moe love for the Steel Samurai. Funny enough, the guitar playing ninja is a thing that happened in Sentai, except he's gold and his guitar is a gun sword guitar. And he's American and transforms with the cheeseburger. I mean, don't we all? We just don't let people across either pond know about that. But no.
What happens next? I want to know. The Jammin' Ninja. Will he be able to sing? What about Princess Misula?
Ooh. Every Sunday at 8 a.m.
Which show should I watch?
I can't believe she's really considering it. Which team is that captain? I'm trying to think if that's one of the... Is that one of the more recent ones? I know you've... But I think the other time I've heard you talking about American ones, it was like a duo. I don't know. It's one of those things where, like, And I really shouldn't, because I've more than enough. We've been talking about manga and stuff like that, and it's gone over so many other people's heads. But it, you know, just sometimes when people are talking about something that they know, you know, it's easy to just tune that out. Shuriken Sentai Ninninger. Ninger. I don't know. That's a weird one. Nin. As in ninja twice. Makes sense. The Gossip on Adrian. And like, it's a double ninja ranger. I get it. Would you mind telling me about this gossip? Oh, so you are interested in it. I figured you would be. Yeah? I have such a weakness for celebrity gossip too. Oh really? You too, huh? Yeah, so take a look at this. Looks like a tabloid Miss Oldbag would read. Alright, let's see here. Jammin' Midnight Rendezvous. To the mysterious yet beautiful manager to the stars, Miss A.A. Only got like 6-7 episodes into that series before I got busy. It's sadly middle of the road overall, but it has some decent moments. Oh well. That's better than being a trash fire at least, right? You see now, don't you? What? Phoenix, come on. You can stop pretending to be in the dark, Mr. Wright. Juan Carita didn't have a manager of his own, which means if we're talking about a certain manager with the initials AA. Adrian Andrews. Yes, exactly. This is big news. But it seems kind of odd. That woman, Miss Andrews, together with the biggest rival of her client? It's that wonderful thing that can only happen between two people. Oh no, it can happen between way more than two people.
Mr. Powers looks so happy.
Rose is just following along, not having any idea as to why he's smiling. Well, like the saying goes, one man's garbage is another man's treasure. Magazine clipping added to the court record. Several soon after that series started, so I lost track of it. Pearl's just small child, don't ruin it, Phoenix. Yeah. I mean, I keep trying to show her this picture of a dead body, but she don't look at it, so, you know, it works out. I'm sure, but it was stuck between Tokger, the trained Sentai of Awesome, and Joger, which was really good. Okay, that is admittedly kind of a shame. Like, that is, something like that. Yeah, I know it was you. It's one of those things. There's ways, because when you, like, take what the actual, like, kana is, it is that equivalent, but it's not how it's pronounced. And that's always gotten me, even ever since taking Japanese 101. Although the other one, I just can't see K without saying K, because that's just too much Spanish, even if I've forgotten 98% of that. It actually would be a word in Japanese, but for some reason they do Jew when it comes to Dino themed series. Excluding Alba Ranger. You two are already going over my head with this stuff. No, that's fine. That does, though, because that happens in plenty of things, right? Like when you have, like, multiple serious arcs in a row. Like, this is because they're entirely series. So it's a little bit different. But, like, you have, for example, One Piece. One of the oddities of One Piece is people will tell you to skip Skypiea, or that it is a not great arc. And it does have, I think it maybe goes a little bit longer than it should, and it has a couple elements that maybe don't hold up as well. But I think the biggest problem Skypiea has is what are the two arcs around it. It's preceded by a little arc, and then Alabasta, and then another kind of little arc to Water 7 Enies Lobby. Like the original Power Rangers in the US. Oh, is that the one that is what they use for Power Rangers? That is a long and sword list, I'm sure. Sky's 1,000 years long. It's not even all that long. But especially at the time, it feels really long. And technically, we got the Davy Backfight arc. Look, no one remembers the Davy Backfight arc. That is manga filler. No, you don't, Darth. You just think you do. But no. Nah. Davy Backfight, though, is interesting. Honestly, actually, one of the rare moments when I think the anime probably is actually better. Because by expanding it, it becomes more of a thing. Instead of this really weird side excursion in the manga. Yes, I think it was the 16th Sentai. That seems about right. Magazine clipping added to the court record, an article from the tabloid Gossip Land. Also, see, I just used you until to understand One Piece. Well, I know well, actually, maybe One Piece you don't. I know you'll keep up with World Trigger. Just to see what it's doing. Speaking of, what did you think about it actually taking a break from the dumb video game shenanigans to have Hughes' Good Life Advice Corner for 2 chapters? Okay, so now that we have this article, this might be what we need to get through Lotta? So, let's Magatama this bitch. Last night I watched fully was Gokaiger. But Chris, League of Legends. And I'm excited for them to go back to that. Because I can't wait to see somehow Osamu's team, despite doing really well that first day, on the second day when it matters, doing significantly worse. Because even when Osamu's doing good, he can only do so well. It is a universal constant of that world. Alright, let's do this, Lotta. Big scoop. Lotta, will you please answer my questions? On the night of the murder, why were you loitering around the victim's room?
Oh, I told you, didn't I? For my scoop.
What I want to know about are the details of this scoop.
Oh, that's not something I can tell you. I mean, that there's my bread and butter.
Alright then. An unpleasant tabloid photographer looking for a scoop. I just thought about because I was actually in a One Piece camera using Big Eyes Small Mouth D20. We ended up with levels and Sentai member before the end. So we called Pirate Power Rangers by a year. Oh, that's pretty fun. I mean, obviously, eventually One Piece did do its own take on Sentai, and it happened to not be pirates at the time, but I think that was a very solid idea for a pirate crew anyways, though. I like One Piece. I struggle with the art sometimes. It's so dense. Yeah. Also, well, I do like it for that. One Piece is also, in the world of manga, maybe one of the most dense, epic stories being told. just in terms of, like, all the many things going on with it. I'm going to say that you were looking into a scandal. Could it be that you, Lotta Hart, looking for a break with a huge story? Perhaps an unfolding scandal between Juan Carita and this person? Adrian Andrews. Was that 2 health segments? Lotta, why are you trying to make me lose 2 health segments? This woman, she's Adrian Andrews, Matt Ongard's manager. The Nickel Samurai's manager, caught secretly meeting with his rival, the Jammin' Ninja. It would be the hottest story of the season, wouldn't it? Oh, you're pretty good at this guessing thing, Mr. Lawyer. But you can't just make up any old thing and think it'll make the papers. You gotta have backup. Backup? Took me a bit to get used to that. Alright, let me just get used to it and we'll have to go back to Egghead instead. Which wasn't bad by any means, but come on. Lotta is a bitch? Yeah, she is. I feel a little bit sorry for Lotta. Because I think she also suffers a little bit from the fact that, like, sometimes when you have a character and they keep coming back, certain traits of theirs will, like, sometimes they'll focus on good things, but other times they'll focus on, like, well, what is Lotta's bit? And Lotta's bit is she has no moral compass. She just wants to make money off of getting a scoop. So she kind of becomes worse as she keeps returning because that's just her bit. How much is a subscription to Viz so you can access the archive? It's $3 a month now. It used to be 2. Now they made it 3. But there's a ton of great things to get with the archive, so. I mean, the Ferengi admires her drive for profits. $3 ain't bad. No, it's been very affordable. I'm kind of surprised that Lotta has never been our client, though. Need to catch up with One Piece. This is a good time to catch up on One Piece. We just wrapped up Egghead a little bit ago. Still the best dollar to entertainment ratio on the internet. Yeah, there's a lot of good things you can read on there. And it's funny too, because we're not going back to Egghead yet in the anime. There's still a couple more things to take care of. I know because on ANN sometimes I'll check in on the anime episode reviews as they go, so it's not back to there yet. So much is going to happen when we go back, Katie. You are not ready. Stop soon after chapter 100, so in the middle of Egghead, it was a Kuma flashback. Oh yeah, there's a lot of Egghead left. Oh, the Kuma flashback is so good. That will be good to go back to once we finally get back to Egghead. I think there's a little bit of stuff before that begins in earnest, but... Anyways, back up.
Yeah, you gotta have that, what's it, new sauce?
You mean news source?
Well, that's it. So show me something that shows that Juan guy had something with Miss Andrews.
Mind you, I was reading weekly since Punk has it, but tonight's being the English release date. Like a job thing or something changed and made it awkward. Was not fitting your schedule. Yeah, that happens sometimes. Take this. Ooh, I didn't read this.
Jabbing Midnight Rendezvous, a superstar in an ultra-hot, mega-secret love scandal? Reliable sources say that Juan Carita has been getting in close with the mysterious yet beautiful manager to the stars, Miss A.A.
So I figured I'd do that, so yeah.
Was that 3 health segments for that?
I keep not looking at how it's going to actually penalize me if I get it wrong. This is the article from a certain weekly tabloid. Jammin' Midnight Rendezvous. To the mysterious yet beautiful manager to the stars, Miss A.A.
Oh, ah.
Mr. Carita didn't have a manager of his own. What's more, his rival, Mr. Ongard's manager, Adrian Andrews, she has the initials AA. You saw this article and then thought to take some pictures of them as proof. That's why you were lurking around Mr. Kurita's door last night. I declare, wow. Hermie says I should just wait until One Piece is over. That could be another decade. I don't think decade. But also, I can't necessarily say I wouldn't say decade. Like, One Piece is clearly getting ready to end in some ways. But that doesn't mean it's not a giant glacier in motion. So it's gonna land, and it's gonna wreck shit when it does. But it's taking time to get there. Yes, but this is Oda. Big scoop. You were looking into Miss Kurita and Miss Andrews' affair, weren't you? Oh, you got it. I was gonna get myself a scoop by catching them in a secret meeting. But there's already an article about it in one of the weekly tabloid magazines. It's no longer breaking news. What'd you just say? Her initials are AA. What kind of vague thing is that? That ain't no proof of nothing. People are gonna want to see real proof. Well, at least I do. So that's what I was doing, getting photos. Oh. I'm gonna whip up the reader's interest with some gossip and a little misleading. Then spice it up a little and have myself an exclusive story. Wow, Lotta. Nice journalistic integrity you got there. I already finished running up my spicy article, you know. But, well, the paper I wrote it on, my note to myself, it's gone. Your note to yourself? Oh, it was inside the case of my $1,600 camera. They done run off together. I came here for my big story, didn't come here to have my treasure disappear on me. Yeah, I understand. Oh, it's enough to make a gal go bonkers, I tell you. What's with people now, anyway? I never thought I'd see the day when someone don't steal something from me. You really want that note back, huh? I've got no idea why, though. The story on that note is probably a bold-faced lie. Isn't it bold-faced? Bold-faced? Not sure, actually. Oda can sideline the main story for years if he wants to by focusing on a side story. Maybe we get Marineford to Electric Boogaloo. I mean, I could see that being the case. Or just, I don't even remember how they pronounce it in the anime. Mary Joyzy? Because for the longest time, everyone thought it was like Marijoa. But now it's actually spelled like Mary, like the name, and then Goisie. The Holy Land. You know, right? You know, that's a good point there. Just lie and, well, not lie, but use the simple name for it. The Holy Land, yeah. I hope they smash her camera. It would really be what she deserves. Like, we already found out that somehow she scratched it and then only paid $700 for it. Well, they call themselves gods. The Tenryubito, the Celestial Dragons. Maybe some of the worst rich people in all of manga/anime. And that says a lot. They'll have Saint in the name. Yeah. Lotta's camera updated in the court record. Stolen on the night of the murder. Tabloid article about the victim was in the case. Okay. That... Okay, I think this is what we need to do Oldbag? That's always satisfying to see one get punched in the mouth. Yeah, it is. I still think the most satisfying might still be the first one we got with Luffy. But there are good ones. Anyways, time to mind crush an old lady. Also introduced us to Kizaru the first time. Do you really like? I mean, I like Kizaru all right. Like ever since Fujitora came onto the scene, it's been heard not to even be my favorite admiral. But after that, it might be Kizaru. I mean, I knew. Wow. Aokiji, Kuzan, he was always cool. Um, he has other things going on. Clearly, he's become way more complicated since the time skip happened and things like joining Blackbeard was a wild development. But the man would be the most terrifying force in the world if he was focused. It does feel a little bit like that, which is kind of fun in its own way, isn't it? What you witnessed. Wow, Rat. Not a little bit. I need to. This is not Lotta at all.
Alright, dearie. Alright, I'll be honest with you for now.
Then please, tell us what you saw.
But, aw, what a waste. And here I have a perfectly good chance to have a little fun at you youngins' expense. I am a little devil after all.
Doesn't that imply you aren't a good person? Alright, I'll give you what you want. Whoa. Okay, wait a second. I may need to. I don't think I have enough evidence yet. Should investigate and gather some more clues before I try again. What does she want again? I've seen theories on that. Why he did it. I can see that. What is it again? What you see on night murder? Maybe Smile's life is give him pressing. Juan's autograph? Katie is up to date with the anime. The anime is in the first major break from Wano. Not Wano, from Egghead. So yes, we've done all of Wano. And we've just gone and seen Sabo went over all the things that happened in the Holy Land. Do I have his signature? Some people say Kuzan's power of sword, like how Drake joined Kaido. I could see that. Oh, okay. You know what? Maybe Gumshoe has something for us. Although I feel like probably not the case, but maybe. Honestly, I'm not sure I would really want that to be the case. I think it's way more interesting if he's not secretly doing something over there, considering other things that happen. But I could see why people would think that. I've also never been a huge fan of the entire Kobe being an important Marine storyline. Even though I think that Oda's been doing a lot in this, like, final part since the time skip to kind of justify that now. But that was always, like, so much of early One Piece has barely anything going on for Kobe. March 21st, Police Station, Criminal Affairs Department.
It doesn't look like Mr. Scruffy Detective is here.
Great, even Pearls is calling him Scruffy. Thanks, Francisca. You said something about an investigation briefing earlier, right? Why don't we come back and try again later when they're done?
Okay, I guess that's all we can do, right, Mr. Nick?
So we get the side manga focus on Kobe. I don't think he'd do that for. Well, okay, you mean for like something focused around Kobe with other things going on. I see it a little bit differently. But I could see how you could be like, well, Marineford's all about Ace. And like, you know, that's not a wrong statement. Well, damn. How do I get... Hmm. I got everything from you. Was that always there and I missed it? Alright, well that'll work fine.
Mr. Nick, what's this piece of paper?
It's called an autograph.
Autograph?
The paper's got Mr. Kurita's name written on it, so it's his autograph.
I can't read it at all. To be honest, I've never seen writing that looks like this.
Ah, it's a special way of writing called cursive. It's bullshit. And really what happens is as you sign your name enough times, you get lazy and you figure out the way that you naturally like to just combine a few weird loops and say that's how you sign your name. Look here. See how it says, "To my dearest Wendy" in more normal letters here?
This sloppy, unreadable writing. It's crazy and cruel to give this to someone.
Hold on. Wendy. I've heard that name somewhere before. Mr. Kurita's autograph added to the court record. Juan Kurita's autograph, "To my dearest Wendy" is written on it. Loops and squiggles strats. Hey, Bubs. I'm slowly getting there, but I've never actually reached that point. I'm still mostly like when I sign my name. It's actually just me doing cursive, but it's beginning to actually form into a signature where it's actually not really letters anymore. Signatures are roller coasters of symbols. That's a pretty good way of putting it. Okay, well, if that was always there, I completely missed it because I'm blind. So I'm glad I didn't try to BS my way through that. Take this.
Old.
Why am I having a hard time with Oldbag?
Oh, that's Juan's autograph.
Oh my god, come on me. Yes, it is.
And it even says, "To my dearest Wendy" on it. That's me, right? Right?
Sure.
My name is Wendy Oldbag, so that Wendy has to be me, right?
Well, it may say Wendy. Somehow, I don't think Juan had this Wendy in mind when he signed it.
Oh, please give it to me. Let me have it, please.
I can't let you have it just like that.
Yes, I know. Then how about an exchange?
Wow, she must really want this autograph.
My offer isn't good enough for you. Fine, Mr. Wright. You win. Wendy Oldbag, ready to open up her heart. All for my dearest Juan.
Okay, yeah. Like, I think Adrian's we're gonna have to work through, but they're like, yeah, we're not gonna make you work super hard on everyone. She's possessed by a demon. Get the holy water. Oh, if only it worked on Oldbag. Autograph given to Wendy, dearest. What you witnessed.
Oh, I feel bad for you now. I tell you, I saw him that night. I saw him coming out of Juan's room.
You're kidding.
Oh no. It was about 10 minutes before Juan's body was discovered. It was just a coincidence. I was on my way to the toilet, minding my own business.
And did you tell that to the police?
Well, of course. I thought I could get a gift certificate or two out of it. Maybe more. Gift certificate? I've been recruited again for that part of the trial. You know, the trial tomorrow. This time, you're gonna get it. I'm gonna work hard to get your client pronounced guilty. But Mr. Ongard hasn't done anything bad. I don't care about details like that. I know he did my dear poor Juan in. I just do.
God, Oldbag sucks. You know, if not for the fact I know what's going to happen, I would feel really bad for Franziska. With this Oldbag-shaped gun just loaded, waiting to fire at her. Fortunately for Franziska, this is a bullet she will not have to worry about. Out of holy water, only have napalm. That will do. Purge the demon in cleansing fire. I wish that would also work, but she could probably survive it.
That yellow-bellied chicken. A yellow-bellied chicken? I wonder what that would look like. I trust my senses. I know when someone did something bad, and I say he did it.
What did Mr. Ongard ever do to her to deserve this? Ongard's past. What did Mr. Ongard do to you to make you so... a bitch?
Oh, you don't know. That guy, he framed my Juan. He created that scandal that plagued poor Juan.
The Emperor protects his faithful from the flames.
Mr. Nick.
What is it?
What's a scandal?
Oh, I'll tell you about that after we get home, and you probably forget I said that, okay?
Poor Juan, led astray by the wiles of that vile temptress. Mr. Nick, what do vials and vile temptress mean?
Why we just listen to what Miss Oldbag has to say for now, okay, Pearls? So, Miss Oldbag, who is this woman you're talking about? Also, can you keep in mind I have a 6-year-old girl with me?
Adrian Andrews, of course. Who else? That guy, he shoved the girl in onto Juan on purpose.
His own manager? But why?
I thought lawyers were smart.
Okay, Oldbag. 1, screw you. But 2, you were there for when you were testifying on the bench. You know that Phoenix is kinda dumb, and that even Edgeworth has his bad moments, usually around you. Although admittedly, anytime she thinks about Edgeworth, it has that, like, pink with hearts in the corner vision happening.
It was to create a scandal, to make Juan lose face. That girl drove Juan into a scandal that dragged his reputation through the mud.
Sounds like a pretty standard definition of a scandal to me. Why do you know about that anyway, Miss Oldbag?
I'm one of Juan's biggest fans. I'm always out there gathering information. There's nothing I don't know.
And do you have proof that Mr. Ongard did what you say he did?
Next week's issue of a certain magazine says so.
Ugh, of course, a tabloid.
Next week? Doesn't that mean it's something people don't know about yet?
Why would Miss Oldbag have information like that? And where did she get it?
Hee.
This is what we need. We need Lotta and Oldbag feeding into each other, force amplifying their bad testimony. Did I actually get anything out of that? Not really. Wait, if I can ask about this now? What about if I show you Lotta? No? Okay. Maybe we have to wait for that to actually come up naturally. Okay. Maybe Gumshoe exists now. March 21st, Police Station, Criminal Affairs Department. Detective Gumshoe said they had an investigation briefing.
Yeah. Oh, he's back.
Hey, so you came, pal.
Why the blunt greeting?
Guess there's nothing to be friendly or happy about.
What do you mean by that?
Well, things look perfect this time around. The evidence and testimony are airtight.
But, we can't just roll over and die. We have to stay positive. Also, I've seen most of your potential witnesses. So unless it's all Adrian Andrews, there's gonna be shenanigans. We have to examine him.
Aw, it's kind of cute.
Okay. I don't believe in corporal punishment for children. But also, if Phoenix had just immediately smacked Pearl, that would have been one of the only times it would have been almost justified. That is not cute. That is a horrible hellspawn. A horrible hellspawn, Pearl.
Oh, it's kind of cute. Mr. Nick, what is this stuffed animal's name?
Oh, that's the Blue Badger. It was my idea. I made it. It's this precinct's mascot, you know.
Oh, wow.
I'll get him assigned mascot of every police station if it's the last thing I do.
I hope you succeeded your mission, sir.
Pearl, why? Clearly, with her immense spirit channeling powers, Pearl is why the Blue Badger actually caught on somehow. A poster of a female police officer. Wait, no. That's the latest Babes in Uniform calendar. My bad. Anyways, what is next month's? But no. This must be the chief of the detectives here. He's glued to his computer screen. What? The hero of a Heroes Award ceremony. The grand prize got away from the Jammin' Ninja again? Shouldn't you be reading something more important? That must be one of the detectives. He's mumbling something to himself. Freeze! Police! Everyone against the wall, hands where I can see them. Hey, what are you doing, Gumshoe? They're hands, not yours. He must be doing image training for arrests. Oh, poor Gumshoe. Taking strays from just random people. These are the detectives' desks. There are computers and files on each one. Funny, they're a lot tidier than I expected. I guess the detectives don't spend a lot of time at their desks. Also, that's kind of mean, Phoenix. Maybe they just are tidy. Not that I would think Gumshoe would be tidy, but you know.
Well, we're pretty interested in this bit of gossip ourselves.
The scandal with Mr. Corita? But why?
Well, 2 years ago, a woman committed suicide.
Suicide?
Oh. Okay, I don't think that's a problem on Twitch, right? I forgot this came up then.
Yeah, you know, unaliving, because algorithms suck. Her name was Celeste Impax, and she was Juan Corita's manager.
The victim's manager?
But that's not all, pal. Miss Impax was Miss Adrian Andrews' mentor. She taught Miss Andrews everything she knew about the business from square one.
Her mentor?
A woman who was both Mr. Corita's manager and Miss Andrews' mentor. Could it? Chisatsu have something to do with this case?
Oh, do you want to know more about her, pal?
Do we have a thing for her? No? Okay. I wonder if... No, it's probably not relevant. You have anything to say about my badge?
If I'm caught leaking info to you in the precinct, my neck's gonna be in the ringer, pal.
Your neck? No.
Nah, I mean my neck is a joke. But yeah, ask me about things that have to do with the case only, alright, pal?
I like Gumshoe's like, hey, if I tell you about the case, I'm gonna be in trouble here, okay? So only ask me about the case. Like, I get what he means. He means stay focused and don't take too long, but that's probably fine. Press conference, you won't say anything. This is probably the same thing as last time. You have anything new to say about this?
Oh, you look at this photo and you can't help it. It makes you want to say, I can't believe this is the scene of a murder.
Stabbed with a knife after a struggle. A clue is sleeping in this photo somewhere. I know it. Okay, I thought maybe that would get me, like, the proper odd... Oh, wait a second. Ooh. Present. Adrian Andrews.
Oh, there's something interesting about this woman, pal.
And what is that?
Oh, you don't know? Haven't you heard the gossip about her?
Gossip, huh? I wonder if he knows anything about that article. Ah, so this is how you... Okay. I will say, I don't remember if the first game was this good about it. I feel like they do try to leave you some clues about things. Where, like for that example, if you were going through that, it kind of directs you to be like, hey, present the article. Airtight evidence. So what do you mean the evidence is airtight?
Oh, I can't give you all the details, pal, but there's 2 big pieces.
2?
And both of them are in this photo. The first is the button that's missing from the victim's chest.
That's the button that you found during your body search of Mr. OnGuard?
Yup, I found it in the folds of the Nickel Samurai's special pants.
Special pants. And the second one is?
The knife in his chest, pal. The fingerprints on the knife in his chest, to be exact.
Fingerprints? Whose are they?
You didn't even have to ask, little missy. It's obvious. They're Matt OnGuard's.
Tomorrow's trial. Talk about being stuck between a rock and a hard place. Airtight testimony. So what about this airtight testimony?
What's that old security lady, Miss Oldbag?
I thought so. So I'm safe.
What do you mean you thought so? Did she tell you something, pal?
Well...
When I even told her not to open that mouth of hers and blab to anyone.
Her blab knob is stuck on 10, and there's no turning it down. Trust me.
Yeah, well, Miss Oldbag saw it all, pal. She saw Mr. OnGuard come out of the victim's room around the estimated time of death.
No way.
Now, if you all remember the first case that had Oldbag in it, it was the Steel Samurai case, you may recall that she had similar airtight testimony where said she saw Will Powers, and it turns out she saw the Steel Samurai. And you may be thinking, there's no way in the sequel game they would have Oldbag do the exact same thing. But the trick is sometimes repetition is funny. Which, spoilers, but we might get there tonight. And we probably won't, actually. Like, I think we'll get to the trial, but I think we'll only get to, like, the beginning part. Celeste impacts.
Oh, she was the victim's manager and was also Miss Adrian Andrews' mentor. It's been 2 years since her Chisatsu, and now those two are linked again by another death. Or maybe it's just a coincidence. Where?
I'm getting sick of dealing with one foolish idiot after another.
God damn it, Von Kerma. Okay, let me put this back on.
Miss Von Kerma.
You can't seem to stop allying yourself with the enemy, can you? I don't need a traitor in my midst.
Yeah, you don't mean.
I do, Scruffy. You have 30 minutes to get out of here. You are no longer needed. Goodbye. She fired Gumshoe.
Okay, Francisca. There are certain things you just don't do that are steps too far. We let you whip everyone and commit assault with a dangerous weapon all the time. You can't fire one of the most lovable members of the cast.
That's...
Wait, please wait, sir. If I don't get this month's pay, I'll start.
Quiet. It weren't for traitors like you, I would have won. Is that what you want to say? Who?
That voice.
Edgeworth. It's been a long time, right? This person? This is Mr. Edgeworth? Oh, what am I going to do with you? Still blaming others when things go wrong. You haven't changed a bit, Francisca. You... How dare you show your face to me without a shred of shame upon it? You've soiled the Von Karma name, dragged it through the mud. You even ran away with your tail between your legs, like the ill-bred dog you were. Are you talking about the Von Karma family creed? To be perfect in every way? Then let's hear it, Francisca. How are things going? I hear you are having a rough time maintaining perfection in this country. You seem to be getting crushed under the weight of it all. That's why I came back. Keep your assumptions to yourself. I haven't given in yet. I won't lose. This case is mine. I'll never hand it over to you. Never. Mr. Phoenix Wright, I will see you tomorrow in court.
So the other thing that I could have had be the title of this stream would have been like, points at Edgeworth, he's coming, he's finally gonna be here. Because goodness knows, this game has already been like, don't worry, he's not here yet, but we know everyone wants Edgeworth. Phoenix wants Edgeworth. Maya wants Edgeworth. Gumshoe wants Edgeworth. Well, finally we have him. It will be a clinical lesson on the meaning of total victory. Still the same wild mare she always was. Miles, can you please... Oldbag wants Edgeworth. You lost twice in a row. Hey, Dill. And yeah, Francisca, she's a sore loser. Oh man, I mean, we have to present our defense attorney badge to Edgeworth. I have no interest in talking about useless evidence. Put a little more thought into what you show me. Phoenix Wright. Still as stuck up as ever. Actually, I want to present all the people to him. We are looking into leads, but we can only look into a few key players with our limited resources. There's no reason for us to waste our energy investigating this person. Why don't you just tell it to me straight and say, I don't have any info? Also, Edgeworth, Francisca just fired Gumshoe. Can you save him? There is an interesting rumor about this man. You mean the one about Miss Andrews getting close to him? That's pretty common tabloid fare, isn't it? I don't take things at face value when there's more to be found. While I was abroad, these deplorable types of actors became popular, I take it. Well, refreshing like a spring breeze is his motto. Refreshing? And what is so refreshing about a spring breeze? Sounds like the pollen is not treating him well this year. Edgeworth, meh. Yeah, he... You know, it is... Because Gumshoe really cares about Edgeworth. And Edgeworth cares about him a little bit, but not enough to make sure he has a livable wage. Which is kind of sad. Adrian Andrews. She holds a large secret within herself. A secret? You can't help but feel that this whole case revolves around her. Celeste and Pax, deceased, was Andrews' mentor and Karita's manager, killed 2 years ago. Miles Edgeworth, age 25, a gifted prosecutor. He disappeared suddenly a year ago. He was my boyfriend. No. This woman is another key to solving this case. Do you really think so? She was Adrian Andrews' mentor a long time ago, but she was suddenly called away by a different show and became Juan Carita's manager. And then, a few months later, Celeste in Pax died. But her death was ruled a Jisatsu, right? Yes, but there is still one riddle we've yet to solve. A riddle? I'm just gonna say the word here. Her suicide note. It went missing. No one could find it. A note about that thing that just vanished, huh? I don't know. I think Twitch is fine with it, but I really don't know. And who really looks at the Twitch terms of service? Like, do you know, apparently you can't show underboob or hips on Twitch? That's not really relevant to me, and it's a person doing it, or a VTuber, not like, if it happens in a game, it's not so bad. But, like, that's crazy. That's ridiculous to me. Like... whatever. Edgeworth, why? No, he won't tell us why he left. Okay, that's fine. We'll talk to him. Actually, wait a second. We might have something. Let's see. You want to talk about the Magatama? No. Nickel Samurai? No. Press conference? No. I mean, we could tell him about Maya being kidnapped Phoenix. No? Okay. Okay, I don't think he's going to talk to us about evidence right now. Interesting that he wouldn't talk to us about evidence, but he would about the people, but it makes sense. Tomorrow's trial. I thought you, the prosecutor Miles Edgeworth, had gone and died. Look it up. Rules are no glorification, no detailed discussion. Okay. So probably in the context of the game... Well, the game discusses it. It's probably fine, though. I think I can understand what it means by no detailed discussion. Thank you, Captain. Appreciate that. Do not discuss hips even if they don't lie. Something. I don't know. That's a good one, Bubs. I'm not a cop. I thought you, the prosecutor Miles Edgeworth, had gone and died.
Mr. Nick.
I never wanted to see you again. I think that's enough of a warm welcome for someone you haven't seen in a year. Are you going to run tomorrow's trial? You heard her, right? That wild mare hasn't given in yet, it seems. Okay, I don't know what they're translating as wild mare, but can you please stop? That's somehow like the creepiest way you can call Francisca for how she acts. I don't know why even. It just, I don't know. It's weird. So, no, I don't think I'll be making an appearance. Unless something happens, I suppose. Your hatred for me is quite unhealthy, not to mention one-sided. But I will say one thing. You can't win on your own at the trial tomorrow. What is that supposed to mean? I have something definitive that you lack, and working together is the definition of teamwork. It's the power to find the truth. The truth? In order to understand this case, you have to understand a certain truth. Well, if you ever feel the need for my assistance, it is available to you. I'm not in charge of this case, so I can be a bit more generous with information. Just what is going on inside his head? So this right here now is Edgeworth has come back in this trial to give us the core thesis of this next stage in Phoenix's development as a lawyer. It's a little bit too soon for me to comment on some aspects of it, but we'll get there. Proof of Von Karma blood. A lot of things may have happened. However, Manfred Von Karma was still my mentor, and a perfect win record is proof of a Von Karma. So, you mean there are no Von Karmas anymore? Because I wrecked his perfect record, and I wrecked Francisca's perfect record. 1 year ago, you could not establish guilt in a few cases. Are those losses the reason you suddenly disappeared from the prosecutor's office? Did you leave because you had lost your perfect win record? To think your motivation for prosecuting trials was so selfish. It'd been better for everyone if you never came back from the dead, Edgeworth. I see. Then let me ask you something. Why do you stand in the courtroom? What is your reason? Why stand in court? Well, with Francisca, she almost always says, I will defeat you this time the instant she sees me. But the courtroom is not a personal battlefield for prosecutors and lawyers. I stand in the courtroom to defend my client. To save their lives. To save your client, you say? Those who think only of their own ego-driven goals, those kind of prosecutors are reprehensible to me. Even if you're a prodigy. Someone like you, Edgeworth. The man I love. It looks like there is still a lot you have yet to learn. A lot I have yet to learn? Me? Well, that's enough for now. The time when you will see is coming soon enough. Missing suicide note. Mrs. Impax's death was most certainly a suicide. Of that there is no mistake. However, we could not find her suicide note. That's when the police began to suspect that someone had hidden it. The suicide note? But how do you know Miss Impax had even written such a note? There was no solid evidence. However, we did find traces of ink on her right index finger, which makes the likelihood of a suicide note very high. But who would hide such a thing? The police think it was Mr. Juan Corrida himself. The victim? He was the one who found her body, which makes him the only person who had a chance to hide her suicide note. Mr. Corrida hid his own manager's suicide note? But why? As long as her note is missing, any speculation beyond this is meaningless. For now, I think you should look this over. This is the suicide report. Part 1, anyway. Part 1. Suicide report added to the court record. Deceased, Celeste Impacts, found by Juan Corrida. Was a suicide note hidden? I think we might be able to present stuff to him now. Either that or maybe that was his thing to tell us to present stuff to him and he did. No, maybe not. Okay. I don't like to look through reports. I think suicide reports even less. Worst of all are the reports that have multiple parts like that one. That has 2. 2 parts? What you just handed me is the first part of the report. Here is the second part. The second part of the report is about an attempted suicide. Why is the game like this? Why did Edgeworth hand me the first part so that I could present it back to him so he could give me the second part? I'm not even blaming Edgeworth for this. I'm blaming the gameplay choice to make it this way. This is why I take all my evidence in a giant pile and I just dump it on people to see what sticks. The second part of the report is about an attempted suicide. The attempter's name. It's Adrian Andrews.
Miss Andrews? What did she do?
She tried to kill herself? She doesn't seem like the kind of person to try to kill herself, though. You think she's a strong career woman? That's just what she wants you to think. Adrian Andrews. She has a certain secret she's always trying to hide. Library rules. You don't get the next book till you return the first one. No, you can take out multiple at once. I mean, usually if your library is close enough, it makes sense to always do it one at a time, but I think once or twice I've actually gotten out multiple books in a series. But when I know I have the time to read and I'm in the reading mood, I can also chew through books very quickly.
A secret?
Her dependent nature. That's what she's really like on the inside. Miss Andrews? Dependent? Talk about the exact opposite of what that woman is. Do you talk about it now? Ah, it's up top. Dependent nature. What's this about Miss Andrews having a dependent nature? Adrian Andrews' attempt at suicide was a few days after the death of Celeste Impacts. And why did Adrian Andrews think about committing suicide? Because she had apparently lost her will to live. Lost her will? But why would she? Her pillar of strength, her mentor, Celeste Impacts, was gone forever. That's why. Also, this is one of those things where they really didn't need to make an art asset for this. Why would that?
Is this what they call following someone to the grave?
Also, God, Edgeworth. Maybe ask Phoenix to take the 6-year-old child out of the room before this part.
After her attempted suicide, Adrian Andrews started attending counseling sessions. She is someone who needs a person in whom she can trust absolutely. And when she finds that person, she'll do anything she can to keep them near. Without such an anchor in her life, her crippling anxiety stifles her ability to live.
And that's the nature of her dependency on others?
When Celeste Impact suddenly committed suicide, the world before her turned pitch dark. That's according to Adrian Andrews herself.
Then that means her super confident attitude.
It's all a facade. She's only copying her mentor's behavior to hold herself together.
How terrible. Attempted suicide report added to the court record. Attempter, Adrian Andrews. Reason, shock from Celeste Impact's suicide.
Appearances can be deceiving. It's such a cliche saying, but it's cliche because it's true.
Miss Andrews, to think that behind that unwavering brave front, she's been hiding this weakness and fear. Alright. Okay. I think with this, we might be able to talk through Miss Adrian Andrews now. You didn't have anything I missed, did you? Okay, no, you didn't. On guard. March 21st, Gatewater Hotel. On guard's hotel room.
Oh, Miss Andrews is here, but it looks like she's talking with someone.
That's Franziska von Karma.
Miss von Karma? What are you doing here?
Well, you see, I'm his lawyer, so...
You've got some nerve following me around.
Following you?
That's you, Miss von Karma. You're the one who's doing the following.
Pearls.
You're always following after that Mr. Detective with the little beard.
Me?
Following after Scruffy? Don't make me laugh. Let me show you something interesting, little girl. What is that? An electromagnetic receiver. I planted a tracking device on that detective. And with this, I know that fool's every move.
So that noise we heard was this receiver. I feel really sorry for poor Detective Gumshoe now. Pretty sure that's illegal.
Yeah.
Now then. Although in fairness, she said she planned it on him, which is why we probably know it's illegal, but also, I could easily see her tricking Gumshoe into signing a waiver that would let her do that. She wouldn't bother doing that, but like father, like daughter, I guess. Oh, damn, Darth. You're not wrong, though.
Let's stop wasting time. Adrian Andrews.
Yes.
Think hard about what we just discussed. Understood?
You know, I should have gotten rid of the whip counter, but I guess it's a good thing I didn't. Alright. What were those two talking about?
Miss Andrews, she seems a little dazed, doesn't she?
Okay. Okay, motive for murder. I think we can just go right into it. I think most of this stuff is what we needed, so. Take that, get Mind Crush time. Motive for murder. Ooh, unless I need to ask Francis. I'm sure it's fine. Why was Juan Corrida murdered? If you ask me, I think you know the reason he was killed. Why are you hiding things? Don't you realize you're putting Mr. Unguard's life in danger by your actions? Why do you ask questions for which I have no answers? The truth is, I was not that close to Mr. Corrida. You were not that close? That's right. I've never been good at being intimate with another person. You're not good at being intimate with another person? Somehow, I highly doubt that. Probably it's gotta be the magazine clipping, right? You and Mr. Corrida had an intimate relationship, did you not? A silly third-rate tabloid article. If you even had half your wits about you, you wouldn't believe such rubbish. Well, it seems quite a few people have already bought into this story. As is to be expected in a world filled with crooks and liars. Note to self, stay on our good side. In any case, I despise interpersonal relationships like that. I see. However, what if there was a need for you to get close to someone? Me? Need to get close to Mr. Corrida, as if there was ever such a need. Didn't you get close to Mr. Corrida for this person's sake? Celeste impacts, your mentor. How do you know about Celeste? Miss Pax. She committed suicide, didn't she? But it looks like no one knows why. Right before her death, she was Juan Corrida's manager. So, I believe you got close to Mr. Corrida so you could find out more about her suicide. You have a great imagination. You may have a future yet as a slimy muckraker for a putrid third-rate tabloid. Damn. That was pretty good, though. I respect it. Miss Andrews? There was no mystery surrounding her death. None. It would be pointless for me to force myself into a relationship for nothing. Is that really true? Was there really no mystery at all? I don't believe you were completely at ease with the way her suicide was resolved. Ooh. I mean, this has got to be... Oh, we got 3, too. It's got to be the suicide report, right? The attempted one? Oh, I picked the wrong one. It must have wanted the other one. Okay. Get a hold of yourself. Huh? If you want advice on doing yourself in, I suggest asking someone, like the police. Which translates to, take a long walk off a short pier. There was no mystery surrounding her death. None. It would be pointless. Okay, it's the same thing. Okay, I need to do this one. This was... I should have paid more attention to what she said beforehand. Miss Pax's suicide note was never found, was it? It looks like the police were under the suspicion that someone had hidden it. Like maybe the person who discovered her body, Mr. Corrida. Juan. And Miss Andrews, I believe you thought the same thing. That is why you became intimate with Mr. Corrida. I wonder if... I'm trying to think if this series has ever actually had, like... Because obviously it has ship tease moments between Phoenix and Edgeworth. And you could say that maybe they've ran them as much into a relationship as they can without having to commit, because, you know, it's really hard to actually expressly do a homosexual relationship in Japanese media sometimes. There's a lot of pushback against that, and they think it has a hard time selling. But I wonder if they're doing, like, another tease here, where, like, Adrian was really into Celeste. And maybe that's why it especially kind of, like, really knocked her out for that.
I've sat by quietly and listened to your insulting ramblings long enough. It's true that Celeste was my mentor. However, allow me to say this again. It had nothing to do with me. I didn't even know that her suicide note was never found. I'm a person who doesn't care about what goes on in the lives of others.
That's the impression you like to give. However, I don't think that's who you really are.
What?
I have evidence that says otherwise. This is proof that Celeste Impacts was someone very special to you. Yeah, I should have waited. I should realize this was going to be a sub to use it. Miss Andrews, you nearly went through with it too, didn't you?
Went through with what?
Ending your life. Miss Andrews, you look and act like a very strong woman who has it all together. It's honestly kind of attractive, and if I was into ladies, you don't ask for anyone's help, relying only on yourself.
Yes, I've been very independent ever since I can remember.
However, that is all just a lie.
A facade.
Okay, Phoenix would never use that word. He is definitely just using it because Edgeworth used it, and that's really funny to me. You've always searched out people on whom you can depend on.
That's...
You were dependent on Miss Impacts, weren't you? Which is why, when she passed away, you lost everything you had.
Stop. When Celeste passed away so suddenly like that, I died a death of my own, but no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't stop thinking about what had become of her note.
You must have heard about the police report. The one that said the police suspected Mr. Kurita of hiding Miss Impacts' note. You heard about it, and thought to recover it from him by getting close, am I right? If that's the case, then everything changes.
What do you mean? What topic did we start this conversation on again? It was, why was the victim killed?
Exactly. Somehow, Miss Andrews, it seems that you have become the one with a reason to want Mr. Kurita dead.
Me?
Miss Impacts was everything to you. And then she died. And you would do anything to find out why she killed herself. Even commit murder.
Murder?
I do like how you need to present 4 things during that. But they don't... You need to present 2 things to break the first lock, and then once you present the 4th one, it works through the other 2 locks. I don't think it always works out that way, but I think that's a nice way of kind of changing up there a little bit. Motive for murder.
It's true. I am a woman who can only live in insecurity. I'm physically small, and I don't really have a lot of self-confidence. I've pushed against all that, though. I've tried to live strongly. I never wanted anyone to find out the truth.
Miss Andrews.
This one thing It's the one thing I wanted to take with me to the grave. It was my secret. Mine and mine alone.
I'm sorry.
You probably think I'm a worthless human being right now, don't you?
Please, Miss Andrews. All I want to know is the truth.
After Celeste passed away, I heard that someone had hidden her suicide note, and that someone was Juan Carita. Celeste, without her, I became scared. Everyone seemed like they were out to get me.
So you got close to Mr. Carita to recover her suicide note, correct?
Looks like that tabloid reported the truth after all. Ironic, isn't it?
Well, like they say, where there's smoke, there's fire.
And if they purposely add fuel to the fire, they keep the celebrity world burning. But as for the suicide note, I didn't and wouldn't kill anyone for it. It just doesn't suit me, that's all. Well, that's enough for now. I still have work to do, so...
I understand.
Oh, I have one small favor to ask. My attempted suicide. I'd like for you to keep it a secret. Miss Andrews, if people found out about my weakness, I would sooner choose to die than live.
All right, I understand. We'll keep it a secret. Unless I really need to use it to get through the case, cause like, look, I like you all right. You seem like a decent person. Although also, based on the fact that Matt Ongard said he didn't kill the guy, and there's literally no one else who seems like a likely suspect, you seem like the probable killer. But regardless, I have to do what I need to do to keep Maya alive. Miss Andrews. I guess she's the overthinking type. She probably never says anything without carefully thinking it through first.
Thank you for your discretion.
Mr. Nick, can I ask you something?
What is it?
Miss Andrews has been playing with that card in her hand since a little while back.
That card? Yeah, I guess she has. Miss Andrews, what is that card you're holding?
Huh. Oh, this? I don't quite know. It just suddenly appeared in my handbag.
What is it? It looks like a seashell?
That's what it looks like, doesn't it? I honestly don't remember owning this card. I wonder where I picked it up from.
Her not remembering something clearly? Sounds like it would be a rare occurrence.
Well, I must be off. I leave Mr. Ungard in your capable hands. What a bitch! I broke through her secret with that stuff and she's gonna say I'm not capable? Well, excuse you, lady.
Do I need to go let Ongard know we're ready? March 21st, Gatewater Hotel, hallway. Well, I think we've gathered about all we can.
What about Mystic Maya? Is she alright?
Oh, Pearls. She looks so worn out by all of this.
She hasn't slept at all. She's been walking all over the place with me today. Okay, Phoenix, I know you're not the most impressive physical specimen, but I'm pretty sure you could carry Pearl. Like, she probably weighs, like... Okay, actually, what would a 6-year-old kid probably weigh? I feel like any weight I say is going to make me sound dumb. But also, you can carry people in ways that they don't seem as heavy as, like, other things. But, like, she looks like she would only weigh, like, 30 pounds. I'm sure it's probably more than that, but enough to carry, but enough to not want to carry for super long. This is true. Like, I don't think Phoenix is built enough. Like, I think Gumshoe is big enough I'm not Googling weight of an 8-year-old girl. Well, one, it is 6, right? No, it is 8. Why do I keep saying 6? 8. It's bad enough, really. But yeah, that's the other reason why, right? Like, although I feel like there's reasons to want to know, like, what a healthy weight is for someone like that, but only if you are like, I'm a pediatrician. This is legitimately part of my field. Why do I keep saying 6? That was dumb of me. Maybe I'm thinking of Anya from Spy Family. But no.
What's wrong, Mr. Nick?
Let's go back to the office for a little while. You're really tired, right?
Oh, no. I'm okay. Really. I'm fine. I really am.
You don't look fine to me. Pearl is such a trooper, though. She's such a good little kid. March 21st, Writing Company Law Offices.
So, what now?
Well, we did find one thing out for sure. Miss Andrews has a motive.
You mean Miss Impax's suicide note?
That's right. She was also the one to discover the victim's body. Clever.
Ah, Mr. Nick, the transceiver.
Hello? Writing Company Law Offices. Phoenix. It's a radio transceiver. You know it's going to be the kidnapper. Why are you even... What a goofy thing to do. Mr. Attorney, you're not answering a phone. Maya, where's Maya? As I promised, I have not gone within a few feet of her this whole time.
Phew.
Which is why, I suppose, she is absolutely famished. What? So I suggest you win a quick acquittal, my friend. At any cost. Wouldn't you agree? Wait, Maya, let me hear her. Very well.
Ask my...
Maya, is that you?
sis. Ask my sis.
Maya. Maya. Damn it. He cut me off.
Mystic Maya said ask my sis, didn't she?
Sis? What does she mean by that? Phoenix. Come on, my man. Okay, you know what? Now, I'll be fair to him. Phoenix is already not the sharpest tool in the shed. He is in a frantic state right now. His nerves are probably torn to shreds. Come on, Phoenix. You're a hopeless one. Sorry? Ugh. Ugh. It's... I also just don't like Mia and Pearl's body. Like, even ignoring the other reasons why it's uncomfortable, I feel like it's just weird. Why do I always show up at the worst time? Hey, Donnie. I mean, the fact that you recognize that already means it's not as bad as it could be, though. Mia, I have a message from Maya. So come, ask me anything you want about her. Maya's situation. How's Maya? She's safe. For now. That kidnapper is one to keep his word, it seems. Glad to hear she's safe. But Mia, how did you know? As soon as she was locked up, Maya called for me. I read the note she left, then I gathered as much information about her surroundings as I could. I know you could use spirit channeling like that. Pretty smart of her. Also, yeah, good for Maya. Like, this is some, like, lateral thinking of using her powers for this. It's still pretty limited, but... Actually, we should present stuff to her. Mia, I know that this is an urgent situation, but also, it's my attorney's badge. Sorry, but I don't have time to answer your questions. Yeah, we should be worrying about Maya right now. Okay, she probably won't say anything about most of these things, but maybe... Not the camera. Okay, not the transceiver. Anything about the people? Okay, probably not. Okay, I'm not gonna bother with the others, because I'm pretty sure it's... Look, I can read between the lines. The game is like... I'm only gonna do so many lines of dialogue. Get going. The kidnapper. The kidnapper. What's he like? I don't know. Apparently, Maya went to answer a phone call at the hotel and was drugged there. And she didn't see the face of her attacker. Maya is locked up in a very dark place right now. I'll tell you everything I heard when I was with her. You were with her? Date. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Time. Location.
I'm starving. I could really go for some apple pie. I mean, at a time like this, sweets are the only way to go. I have to stay positive. He promised he wasn't going to kill me. I'm not going to die. Sis, I wonder if you're with Nick right now. Drat, it's locked. This door's lock seems easy enough to open. On TV, the hero always uses a plastic card or a stiff piece of cardboard. Then click, they magically open the door. I wonder if there's a card like that around here I could use.
Okay, but first...
What's this? It feels like there are a lot of glass bottles here. And these, they feel like barrels. I'll pass. Too bad I'm really hungry and not really thirsty.
So here's a weird thing. They put a light here in this image. I feel like the implication, though, is that, like, it appears well lit to us, but it's actually not meant to be lit at all. I don't know why. Like, this seems like a really weird failure of the writing team and the art team to really coordinate here, but... By the way, I'm late to this stream because I watched the Salem's Lot remake. It wasn't great. Vampire Nerd Attacks. Aw. That's a shame. Was it at least like... I mean, I don't really... Obviously, if you were doing something, that's fine, obviously. I mean, it's more a shame that, like, it wasn't great, so... Did you at least get some enjoyment out of it, though? Or was it, like, really mediocre? Because I feel like if it was, like, entertainingly bad, you would have probably said that, but it wasn't great. It makes it sound like it was underwhelming. Miniseries just cannot be topped. This was mediocre. Yeah.
There's all sorts of things piled up here, but it's too dark to see.
Yeah, see, it's too dark to see, as is not pictured here.
Huh? Someone dropped a card here. It kinda looks like a business card, but there's no name on it. It's a picture of a seashell, I think.
So, this relates to the card that Adrian Andrews was holding, so.
What a strange card. That's it. This shell card. If I use this, maybe I can get the door open. This might be my key out of here. I had a feeling this card might be useful. I'm such a genius. Alright. Now if you'll excuse me, Mr. Kidnapper.
Click.
I did it. Okay. Now I'm getting the heck out of here. I shouldn't keep Nick waiting or worried.
Okay. obviously this doesn't succeed. But also, that's impressive that Maya actually managed to do that. Because, like, you know, they say they do that, but, like, there's still an art to doing that. Either she just got really lucky. Okay, let's save. I don't know if we'll have time to get through the first half of the trial, but we'll at least get into it some. But I have over an hour left. Seems like it's too soon to stop. March 22nd, 9:47 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. Adrian did it? Okay. That said, since I had to do a save here, I went to here because I think it's nicer to leave it on with at least some music. Even though this is not like the most fun music to be stuck on, but I'm gonna go take a small break, just stretch my legs a little bit. I've got probably... The miniseries was directed by... Is it Tobe Hooper or is it Toby? I don't think I actually have ever heard the name. And had real 70s TV grit. This new one was produced by James Wan, so the horror has the subtlety of a brick through a window. Brick through a window? Oh no, my property values! Also, depending on the weather, that could be inconvenient for other ways too. Yeah. That is a shame. It's kind of weird, because I feel like there was a little while there. Toby. It is Tobe. Okay, it does have that. Okay. It was one of those things where I'm like, I don't think Tobe is a name, and that's why. Even though the Toby I would expect to see would be one with just have a Y. But also, names are kind of bullshit. Like, even in other languages, and English is already a notorious language for that, so. He directed the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Poltergeist. Ah, okay. Yeah. I'm already not kind of a movie guy, and horror is not, like, my preferred genre. Although if I have to watch people doing video games, it's one on, like, for Let's Plays, it's actually something I kind of like. I don't know why. I think it's because, like, I get just enough separation from it, so I can vicariously enjoy it. Okay. So let's see how far we can get. Adrian did it? That's what it looks like. Dude, no way. That woman couldn't do anything like that. It's one of the few scary AF vampire movie series. That is good though. Because yeah, vampires tend to... It's one of those things, the sexy side of vampires is what people really took them for. In court today, there will be a mountain of evidence that will implicate you. A mountain of evidence? I'm certain there is someone out there trying very hard to pin this whole thing on you. Oh, please, Mr. Lawyer. Dude, like I said yesterday, I'm refreshing like a spring breeze, alright? I can't let any sort of scandal ruin that. Well, to be honest with you, Matt Ungard, the way society in general usually is, and especially Japanese society, your career is already ruined because you've been accused of it. Doesn't matter if you are convicted or not. The damage has been done. I understand. Oh. Well, it's almost time. I had a feeling that me had already taken over. Okay. I may try to organize a Halloween watch along for the miniseries now to undo my disappointment. That sounds like it could be fun. I'm usually not around at good times for that, but... Mia, we must get a complete acquittal today. I know, but I can't focus on Maya's situation right now. Or Pearl's either. No matter what, I have to focus on winning this case by the end of the day. Indeed. Well, let's get going. It is kind of a shame because they're really trying to push this thing where it's like, this first day, we need to succeed and get the not guilty. And like, spoilers, it's not going to happen. There's no way the big final case happens in one day in a Phoenix Wright game. That's actually why it's kind of fun the way the investigations games are set up. Because that thing, they can actually kind of do it all in one day just because they just hop around as they feel like with it. That's the strength of that format for them. Oh, that reminds me too. Let's turn on the objection counter. It's him. This is Wright.
Good morning. This is it, Mr. Attorney. The day of the trial.
Maya. She's unharmed, right?
Well, when I checked on her earlier this morning, she seemed a bit, how shall we say, tired. Don't worry. People don't die that easily. Besides, what you really should be concentrating on is winning today's trial. For my sake, as well as yours, you must win today's trial. Which is why I sent you a little present this morning.
Present? What in the world would you want to give me?
You'll figure it out once the trial starts. And even if you don't like my gift, I expect you to graciously accept it and win the day's contest, if you please.
Wait. The kidnapper sent me a present?
Mr. Lawyer Dude? Who was that?
No one. It's nothing to do with you, so forget you heard anything.
Dude, did your nose just get longer?
March 22nd, 10 o'clock a.m., District Court, Courtroom number 3.
Court is now in session for the trial of Matt Vanguard.
Liza P. Phoenix.
Are the prosecution and defense ready?
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
I say, Mr. Wright, what happened to Miss Von Karma?
I don't know, Your Honor. Why are you getting mad at me?
Your Honor, please be quiet, bailiff. Court is in session. If you must tell me something, please keep it brief. Well done, what is it?
Prosecutor Von Karma has. This morning, Miss Von Karma was shot by an unknown gunman.
What?
Shot? Please tell me. Was she at least not shot in her whip arm? Her life has no meaning if she can't whip people. The bailiff has my stammering cadence. You know, I never think about that when it comes up in these kind of things, how there are different ways of showing that. Somehow, I think this is the present that man was talking about. His present? Miss Von Karma is one of the top prosecutors in the country at the moment. If she were to disappear, it would be to your advantage. Karma's oh right. Oh, that's a very good one, Bubs. I wasn't even thinking about it that way. Well, that will restart a sentence like 3 times before I get to the end of it. That's fair. I mean, it can also be hard when you have to tell something like that, because that's like a big deal. But in that case, it kind of lined up. This is totally insane. Now, admittedly, we know that the killer has messed up here. Because, of course, who did we see as around earlier? Edgeworth. And unlike Francisca, who, even when she's well-intentioned, she has that element that will beat her down. Edgeworth has gone through a character arc. It is time for Edgeworth to get the win, which bodes ill for Phoenix. Miss Von Karma, is she alright?
I don't have that answer.
She's alive and in stable condition.
That's good. You're...
I thought he'd show up. Your Honor, due to the circumstances, Miss Francisca Von Karma cannot appear in court today. I, Miles Edgeworth, will be taking her place. The prosecution is ready, naturally. Front-facing Edgeworth. Yeah, just for a moment. We got to see him outside the courtroom, but now he's assumed his natural state. Miss Von Karma was shot in her right shoulder and is currently undergoing surgery. His serious face widens his jaw structure. Luckily, I have looked this case over and am familiar with the details. The prosecution seeks to prove the guilt of Mr. Matt Ungard.
The court acknowledges the prosecution.
Right. I finally found the answer I was struggling for on my long journey this past year. By the time this case comes to an end, you too will know the answer. Now then, the prosecution would like to call its first witness. Please bring Detective Gumshoe to the witness stand. Also, since Francisca is now in the hospital and she was shot in her whipping arm, whip counter, be gone. Now we just need to care about objections. Witness, your name and occupation. This really does feel like a finale. I do think it kind of sucks for Francisca that she doesn't get to do really much of anything in this case. But bringing Edgeworth back in for it does add that feel to it.
Oh, my name's Dick Gumshoe, sir. I'm a detective down at the precinct. For now. For now? Oh, after this trial's over, I'm supposed to turn in my badge, sir.
Detective Gumshoe? Oh yeah, I think you missed this, Nani. Francisca fired Gumshoe. It's fine, he'll get rehired. The prosecution has no need for a depressed witness. Lift your head up and face forward like a proud officer, Detective Dick Gumshoe.
Yes, sir.
Now, let's have your testimony. If we want to explore the various facets of this case, we must start with that. Get ready, Phoenix. This is going to be one very rough fight. Yeah, would have to be with Edgeworth as my opponent. The answer he was struggling for. Interesting. Show me this answer you finally found, Edgeworth. Bare facts of the case.
I'll see. This murder happened after the Hero of Heroes Awards ceremony, sir. The victim, Juan Corrida, was found dead in his hotel room. After looking into the cause of death, we believe he was definitely murdered, sir. Oh, at first, we thought there was something suspicious about the empty guitar case. However, we later found out that the guitar case had nothing to do with the murder.
That's really funny line, like, we think it might have been a murder, as it shows this image of a man with a little knife sticking out of him.
After the award ceremony ended, the victim was alone in his room. Oh, yes, sir. Both the victim and defendant went alone in their room, sir.
I see. Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination.
Bare facts of the case.
Oh, this murder happened after the Hero of Heroes award ceremony, sir.
Would you please give us a brief timeline of what happened after the ceremony?
Okay, pal. The ceremony started at 6 p.m. It ended around 8 p.m., and then there was a short break. A special post-ceremony show was supposed to start in the lobby 30 minutes later.
And that's when the victim's body was found, correct? Which is to say, the murder occurred during that 30-minute break period.
Please continue with your testimony, Detective.
Oh, the victim, Juan Carita, was found dead in his hotel room.
The person who discovered the victim's body was Adrian Andrews, correct?
Yeah.
Who is this Adrian Andrews you're talking about?
Oh, she's the defendant, Matt Ongard's manager. She's a really pretty lady, sir.
Ah, so she's a pretty lady. I wonder if she will grace us with her presence.
Judge, focus, my man. You are too old for it to matter. I mean, I know there's a little blue pill for that, but really.
Oh, when the post-ceremony show was about to start, she went to get Mr. Ongard. Well, after visiting his room, she next went to the victim's room to get him for the show, sir.
I see, but that's where she found the victim's body.
Well, after looking into the cause of death, we believe he was definitely murdered, sir.
The cause of death, wasn't that because Mr. Carita was stabbed in the chest?
Only a careless amateur would believe something so brainless as that, pal. Take a good hard look at the crime photo. Now, a real pro's attention would be drawn here, to this bandana.
Judge.
Banana.
His bandana, sir. That's the thing wrapped tightly around his neck, sir.
Ah, yes. I see. His banana-scented bandana.
Then what about the knife?
Oh, it seems to have been stuck in the victim's chest on purpose after his death.
We have a crafty murderer on our hands here.
Autopsy report added to the court record. Also, that whole thing where Gumshoe's like only a rank amateur would say that, that's because the day before, Gumshoe told us that. He's like, oh, he was stabbed by the knife. So, you know, Gumshoe's doing a cell phone. Time of death, 8:15 p.m. Cause, strangled with a scarf, then stabbed with a knife.
Well, at first, we thought there was something suspicious about the empty guitar case.
And why did you think that?
Oh, because it was empty, pal. The German ninja doesn't go anywhere without his bright red guitar. And we couldn't find it anywhere at the scene of the crime.
Well, but how about this theory? A friend really wanted the guitar and did the crime to get it. How's that?
We thought of that too, but... the only fingerprints on the guitar case were the victims.
Only the victims, huh?
I see. So much for my theory then.
Guitar case updated in the court record. Empty. There is some water, but only on top of the lid. Bears Corvita's fingerprints.
However, we later found out that the guitar case had nothing to do with the murder.
What convinced you it had nothing to do with the case?
Oh, the guitar wasn't at the Gatewater Hotel that night.
Well then, where was it?
Oh, the bright red guitar was eventually found at the TV studio. The victim, Juan Carita, had apparently only taken the case with him, sir.
So Luigi forgot to put the guitar inside the case?
Yes, sir. Even when he was on stage for the ceremony, he didn't have his guitar.
Okay. I don't remember if he had a reason for not having the guitar with him. Like, I think this comes up that it was used for something later. So maybe, like, they took the guitar and they returned it. But, like, a case is notably extremely light without the thing it's meant to carry, usually. It depends a little bit on the case and what it's for, but, like, oh, well, whatever. He's an action star. Maybe he just has that bad a perception. His wisdom is that critically low. So that guitar case was empty even before he got to the hotel.
Yeah, that's right. So it really had nothing to do with the case after all.
I believe that is enough. First, the victim was choked to death with his bandana. Then, after the victim was dead, the killer deliberately stabbed him with a knife. Which brings me to my next point. Why then did the police arrest Matt Ongard? Because there was reason enough to suspect him. Here it comes. Looks like Edgeworth's back in full swing.
Very well. Detective Gumshoe, please testify about this matter.
Oh, yes, sir.
Poor Gumshoe. Like, he feels bad. Because he wants to help us right now. Because he knows about Maya being kidnapped and that we need to try to get it not guilty. So, like, not only does he think he's going to be fired at the end of this, well, he's going to be out of his job completely, but he also doesn't want to be helping the prosecution for once. Why arrest Ongard?
Oh, Matt Ongard and Juan Carita were huge rivals with each other. They each thought the other guy was in his way. Well, that's motive enough in my book. As for evidence, there's the Jammin' Ninja's button. It was ripped off of the ninja costume and was found in Mr. Ongard's hakama. Oh, the defendant's fingerprints were also all over the knife. The defendant bought the knife. The defendant bought the knife for the crime, which makes this a premeditated murder.
I want to say brought, but I think it's meant to be bought. Maybe it's meant to be brought. Either way, it's clearly wrong. But that's Gumshoe for us, I guess.
So the defendant's fingerprints were found on the knife used in the stabbing.
It was sort of sticky on the handle, so the fingerprints came out pretty clearly, sir.
Knife added to the court record bears the victim's blood and Ongard's fingerprints. In the grip, Gatewater is engraved.
Oh, and there's this button.
That was found in the defendant's clothes, was it? And is this button also covered in blood?
Yes, and we know that the blood on it is the victim's blood, sir.
What? Gem Ninja's bun added to the court record. Was ripped from his costume, is covered in Corita's blood, found in Ongard's hakama.
All of this points very clearly to the defendant, doesn't it?
Yes, it most certainly does, Your Honor. Ready to give in yet, right? I'll find the hole in your argument somehow. You can press as hard as you'd like. Just hurry up with your usual pointless questions. You all hear that? Edgeworth told Phoenix he can press as hard as he likes. Now, if that's not some bedroom dialogue, I don't know what is. But no. Why arrest Ongard?
Oh, Matt Ongard and Juan Carita were huge rivals with each other.
But in terms of popularity, Mr. Ongard won, did he not?
Oh, yeah. But you know what's ironic, pal? Juan Carita was always one step behind Mr. Ongard in everything. This year it seemed like he'd finally caught up, ready for the big final showdown.
But Mr. Carita lost the Grand Prix in the end.
That is too bad. He must have been pretty downhearted after losing.
They each thought the other guy was in his way. That's motive enough in my book.
Wait just 1 second here. This song guy was beating Mr. Kurita in the popularity polls.
Well, yeah, I guess, but...
Which means that in the defendant's eyes, the victim was not a rival at all. Which means he had no motive to kill at all.
Yes, I quite agree. Well, Detective?
It's not... Well... I guess if you put it that way, then yeah, the defendant would have had no motive.
Detective, I'm beginning to see why you were fired.
No, not you too, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. That's...
I look forward to your pension negotiations.
No...
Now, Detective. Let's continue with the testimony.
No. Not my poor pension, too.
You know, I feel like Francisca has committed the more obvious crimes. But the fact that the prosecution, like, constantly says they're going to reduce the detective's pay is one of those things where I never think they come out on the fact that, like, actually, this is maybe one of the... Because it's obviously just the wrong thing and a dumb ongoing joke. But also, that basically implies that all the evidence are like, come on, detective. Give me evidence that works for me. Like, can't do that. That's yet another thing to put in the illegal Phoenix Wright moments. Detective, if you value your money, I suggest you proceed.
Yes, sir. We can talk about my pension later, sir.
What about what I was saying? Hello? Anyone?
Well, as for evidence, there's the Jammin' Ninja's button.
Do you have any proof that button belonged to the victim?
Huh? What do you mean, pal?
Oh, let me put it this way. I'm asking you if you have any evidence to back up your claim that this button was ripped off the Jammin' Ninja's costume.
Huh? But can't you tell by just looking at it? And the victim's blood is on it.
Anyone could have smeared that blood on there afterward.
Mr. Edgeworth, help me, sir.
All right. I knew it had to be this piece of evidence. Now to reel this one in. Thread. Uh-huh. The button was attached to the costume by a thread, obviously. And that thread snapped when the button was torn off. If you match up the ends of the thread on the costume with the thread on the button, it's a perfect match.
Yeah, that's it. They're a perfect match, pal.
Ugh. That's Edgeworth for you. Never misses a beat. I really wish I worked as prosecution and he was my figure to mentor, but I was stuck with you, Phoenix. Ugh.
It was ripped off of the ninja costume and was found in Mr. Ongarad's hakama.
I want to make so many dumb Nakama jokes, but like I feel like it's so obvious already. It's like, when was this button found?
Pretty soon after the body was found, we rounded up everyone who knew Mr. Kurita, and then we did a search on them all. That's when we found the button.
So it was almost immediately after the murder.
The police didn't have the free time to lollygag and play tricks, unlike some people. Hey, what's he trying to say about me here? Yeah, what the hell, Edgeworth?
Oh, the defendant's fingerprints were also all over the knife.
How were the fingerprints ranged on the knife?
Huh? What do you mean, pal?
By examining the fingerprints, you can determine how the defendant held the knife. I do appreciate that, like, Because we know that Phoenix is anxious to really try to get Matt declared not guilty this first day. So he is very desperate and flailing for anything. Like, this is blatant attempts at him just bluffing his way through anything, even by Phoenix Wright standards. For example, did he hold it normally or overhand?
Oh, is that what you meant? Well, we didn't actually think of that.
I can't believe the bumbling of this department. Hopeless. Were you paying attention to the testimony, right? The defendant's fingerprints were all over the knife. There is no way to determine how the knife was held at the moment of the murder.
So was the defendant the owner of this knife then?
Well, the defendant bought the knife for the crime, which makes this a premeditated murder.
There is no way this was a premeditated murder, even if he bought the knife.
Sorry, pal. This isn't some pocket knife. It doesn't fold, so it's not great for walking around with either.
Arg. Well, this is not good. Okay. But it is clearly just a dinner knife. It honestly looks like a butter knife. Although I think it's meant to actually be a steak knife, but that also would have been a hard level of detail to draw with the little bits on up front, so. If the prosecution can prove it was a premeditated murder, we're done for. Phoenix. Yes? There's something very interesting about what the detective said just now. Think carefully before it's too late. Bun covered in the victim's blood, and a knife with Ungarad's fingerprints. Be grateful. If the judge were more rash, he would have already pounded his gavel in closing. We're still in a world of trouble. Well, before any battle, you must find your enemy's weakness. So let's find the weakness in this testimony, no matter how small it may be. Okay, Phoenix? Alright. This one's pretty easy. Bought the knife. Oh, he bought this golden knife that has the name of the hotel, Gatewater, engraved on it. Yeah. Wait a second.
What?
So the basis of your argument that this was a premeditated murder is simply that my client bought a knife beforehand?
Oh, that's right, pal. The defendant
did not buy this knife. Also, I almost forgot since I did that. I wonder if I forgot other ones. Oh well. Huh? Take a good look at the handle of this knife, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Huh?
It has a Gatewater seal set into the handle.
Gatewater? I think I've heard that name somewhere before.
That's the name of the hotel. The Gatewater Hotel. Uh-oh. The murder knife was actually property of the hotel, which means this murder was not premeditated.
Yes, that is very true. This is a very big... What is it, Mr. Edgeworth?
I'm sorry, but the defense is simply too careless. What? I think whether the crime was premeditated or not has already been determined. How so? I admit this knife is hotel property. There is no one currently on the police force that is dumb enough not to realize this. Oh, Edgeworth, that's so mean. 'Cause Gumshoe's fired. Oh, but I didn't Oh. The question is, where did this knife come from?
Well, that's obvious. It came from the victim, Mr. Kurita's room.
Sorry, Your Honor, but that is incorrect. The victim ate a last meal before he was murdered. With that being the case, I would like to draw the court's attention to what is on top of the table. It is currently being hidden by my text box, but... See, there we go.
Well, there is a knife and a fork on the table. And where in the world did this knife come from?
If it pleases the court, I would like for us to recall the room of the defendant, Mr. Matt Ungard. Especially what was on top of his table. There is something missing. Perhaps it is a single knife. Man, Edgeworth is such a bitch. But that's kind of why we all love him too. We investigated the leftover dishes for fingerprints, and while we were investigating, we came to the conclusion that Mr. Matt Ungard's knife was missing. Mr. Ungard had gone to the victim's room with the knife he had used during dinner. Why would he carry a knife on a visit? To kill, of course. And with that, I believe the prosecution has proven this was a premeditated murder.
Amazing, Mr. Edgeworth. Absolutely brilliant. A brilliantly clear deduction.
It seems like Edgeworth had this plan from the very beginning. This must be one of those traps, and I just walked headlong into it.
A murder weapon with fingerprints, and a button from the victim's costume. There is quite a sizable amount of evidence here.
I can safely say that any further deliberation is a waste of Your Honor's time. Although, I wouldn't mind if the defense were to present evidence not yet shown to the court. Evidence not yet shown? He means evidence that the court hasn't seen yet. In other words, new evidence.
What does the defense have to say about this, Mr. Wright?
Well, Phoenix, the judge is favoring the prosecution right now. If we answer with something wrong here, that growl of his will be ringing out to the sound of our defeat.
Mr. Wright, do you have something important and necessary to present to this court?
I mean, we have to, right? Is it just... I don't think it's the guitar case. Is it just the fact that they need Adrian Andrews in here? I mean, Mia told us we need to, so actually I do. There's one piece of evidence that catches my attention. Something that this court has yet to see.
Mr. Wright, I will say this one more time. I do not feel this trial needs to continue at all. However, I am giving you one chance. And only one.
What the judge is saying, right, is don't try pulling one of your usual bluffs here. If I mess this up, it's currents for all of us. I'm sorry? The entire health bar? Okay, I'm gonna save real quick in case I'm a dumbass. What the man, this must be really obvious.
You may now present one, but only one piece of evidence. Now then, what is this important evidence that you must show to the court?
Attorney's badge, no. Magatama, no. Nickel Samurai, no. Press conference ticket, no. Radio transceiver, no, obviously. Lotta's camera, no, this makes sense. Article from tabloid gossip land. Got it. Hotel. The guitar case, empty. There's some water, but only on top of the lid. It bears Korea's fingerprints. Wine glass right next to the victim. It's filled with tomato juice. No sign's been drank. Crime photo. Photo of Juan Carita's murder scene. The suicide report. Juan's autopsy report. It's out the knife, the button. Okay. So it's new, so it can't be these two. I don't think we need... It's too soon to directly implicate Adrian. Guitar case. The guitar case is weird, but also it needs to be new evidence. So it's the wine glass? I guess we had that whole thing where like Pearl pointed out to us, and it is weird because it looks like the room got messed up, and yet there's the wine glass was fine. Well, I saved anyway, so. I don't know, that... The whole health bar? What the hell? Okay.
This is a wine glass, is it not?
Please look at the photo of the crime scene one more time. The scene is a mess because of the victim's struggle against his assailant. The vase was broken, his makeup is all over the floor. These were all things that were at one point sitting on top of the dresser.
Well, yes, I see your point.
However, this glass that's sitting on top of the dresser is mysteriously untouched. The only thing that had not fallen over along with everything else is this wine glass. This piece of evidence is more than strange enough to warrant further consideration. Well, what do you all have to say?
Well, yes, it is a little peculiar.
Yeah. Yes, isn't it? I thought it was.
You can stop looking at me with those puppy dog eyes of yours now. Mr. Edgeworth?
What is it, Your Honor?
Your opinion?
You don't need my opinion. Because there is no special meaning to that glass. What? Oh, I forgot how giant Edgeworth's yaoi hands were sometimes. It's safe to say that the glass was set there after the crime took place. By the person who discovered the body, Adrian Andrews, for example. She could have easily been so shocked that she set the glass down without thinking.
That does sound very plausible. Mr. Wright?
Could Miss Andrews really have set that glass down without thinking? Next to the victim, it's filled with tomato juice. No sign it's been drank. Oh. I mean, we just need to say there's no way. If I appear weak here, the trial is over. Yeah, like, I don't quite remember the angle we push here, but I can look for my proof later. For now, I should trust my instinct and point with certainty. They just might fall for it, if you're thought-provoking enough. The defense would like to challenge the prosecution's theory. We would like to see something that proves it was Miss Andrews who set the cup on the table.
You've turned the situation on its head, little god, as usual. Mr. Edgeworth, do you have any proof to back up your claim?
There's no way he has any. He's just bluffing. Phoenix, come on. Don't make it this easy for Edgeworth. Unlike Mr. Wright, I never say anything unless I have the evidence to support it. What? You're not thinking hard enough today, right? Not that you ever do. Did you think this wine glass escaped my notice? Then, of course, it has been thoroughly inspected for fingerprints. Fingerprints? There were only one set of fingerprints left on this wine glass.
Only one? Well, whose were they?
They were not the victims nor the defendants. Rather, they were of one Adrian Andrews. What? Wine glass update in the court record. Found next to the victim, it's filled with tomato juice, bears Andrews' fingerprints. That is why I said that the person who had discovered the body had left it there. Are we done here, Mr. Wright? I can't believe I fell into another trap. Miss Andrews was probably holding the glass when she went to see Mr. Corita. But upon seeing his dead body, she was stunned and set the glass down on the dresser.
What you just said makes a lot of sense.
Now do you see, Wright? You can't change any part of my scenario as it explains everything all too well. I've thought long and hard this past year about what it means to be a prosecutor. And from here on out, I will show you the answer I have come to discover.
Well, wait a second, Mr. Edgeworth. I think the prosecution has provided enough evidence for me to enter my verdict.
Unfortunately, I cannot allow you to pass judgment yet. The prosecution has yet another witness we would like the court to hear from. Another witness? Yes. Bailiff, please bring in the next witness. What in the world is Mr. Edgeworth thinking? So, the advantage here is Edgeworth partially is now, because Francisca still wants to just win. Edgeworth doesn't want to win. He wants the truth, which means it was too early just then. Edgeworth, however, has made a mistake. Because, as we can tell by how he's acting right now, he didn't know who this witness actually was. Now then, witness, please state your name and occupation. Witness, your name and occupation, please. Ugh.
Heh. Gotcha. Gotcha.
Edgeworth, why do I hear boss music? Yup. I wonder what happened to that calm composure he had earlier.
Oh, edgy boy. It's been what, a year since we last met, hasn't it? You should be more happy to see me.
I saw the report with her testimony, but who knew that under that helmet? It was the Wicked Witch of the witness stand.
I tell you, this time I know what I'm supposed to do. So today, I'm going to tell you anything and everything. Even things that don't have to do with that terrible crime.
Miss Witness, that terrible crime is all this court needs to know. Wolf.
Shush, I'm talking to my dear Edgy Wedgie right now. Don't interrupt us, Gramps.
Oh, yes, madam.
No, no, no. Please. By all means, interrupt her. Please. Edgeworth, I quit. I'm going to the dog catcher business. Oh, man. Anyway, witness, your testimony, please.
It's true what they say, that youth are hot-headed nowadays. Not that I mind at all, Edgy.
Don't ever say wedgie again. Well, she usually just goes with edgy poo or something, so I don't think we'll see edgy wedgie again. But we might if we're unlucky.
Now then, what should I start with?
The witness was on security detail at the hotel on the night of the murder. Is this correct, Miss Oldbag?
Oh, it was a great job being able to see my dearie Juan. It was almost too much for my little heart to handle.
You mean you were a fan of the victim? So your testimony is biased?
Look, everyone is crazy over that on guard, saying he's cute in a fresh way or something. But not me. I wouldn't say anything so silly. After all, I have no interest in a little child like him. I'm only interested in a real man, Juan Carita.
Those two were the same age?
Anyway, as I was saying, I was pacing in front of his room that night.
Very well. Please tell the court what you witnessed the night of the murder.
Leave it to me, Edgy Poo.
Okay. This might be the final bit I get through tonight because we're coming up on time. What you witnessed.
Anyway, after the ceremony, I went to pace around in the hallway in front of his room. There was something I was interested in finding out, you know. Well, since I was on the job, I made sure to keep a good eye out the whole time. That's when someone showed up. It was a man coming out of poor Juan's room. It was on guard. Matt on guard. He was trying to sneak his way out of Juan's room.
So Mr. Ungard came out from the victim's room.
See, it has to be him. He is the murderer.
I see. Well, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination.
I think poor Edgeworth knows what is coming, now that he knows who this witness is. What you witnessed.
Anyway, after the ceremony, I went to pace around in the hallway in front of his room.
Miss Oldbag, what was your post on that night?
The lobby. I was supposed to help set up the stage for that rifling show, but I refused to help, I'll have you know. It was for that lead-headed samurai show. Heh, I even took out a few of the nails.
Maybe it was a good thing the show didn't go on.
Besides, that manager with the glasses seemed to be working hard at it without me. So I thought I'd take a break and spread my wings a little.
And that's when you went to hang around the victim's door?
There was something I was interested in finding out, you know.
Something you were interested in? And just what was that?
It's not some little thing I can just go around telling everyone, you know. It's top secret between me and Juan. Ah, and Jipu, of course.
Mr. Edgeworth, what is this thing she was interested in?
I have no idea. I despise gossip, Your Honor. Gossip? But should it prove irrelevant, we can always have it appended to her testimony later. It looks like we should enforce it right now.
And did the witness stay in the vicinity of the victim's door the entire time?
Interesting. Honestly, it's a good thing I'm getting near the end for the night, too, because I can feel like I'm doing okay, but I'm running out of tea, and I definitely would have needed more.
Well, since I was on the job, I made sure to keep a good eye out the whole time.
I mean, I could just get some water, too, but it won't be I'll be done before needing it, so. Oh, then would you tell us the number of people who went in and out of Mr. Kurita's room?
I have no idea. I wasn't born so I could count things for those who didn't pay attention in class. That's why ever since I turned 20, I quit keeping track of how old I really am.
I mean, I've kind of done that, I'm not gonna lie. But also, Oldbag, come on.
Yes, well, that would explain why your age was not included in the report.
In any case, the witness then saw someone, correct?
That's when someone showed up. It was a man coming out of poor Juan's room.
Who in the world was that?
I'm not allowed to say. This sort of information has to be carefully guarded from the masses, Sonny. The man that came out of Juan's room. It was. He was.
Yes, he was.
I'm too scared. I can't say his name out loud.
Oh, what I wouldn't give to have Francisca's whip right about now.
Well, I guess I can tell you, since he was such a bad boy anyway. It was Angard, Matt Angard. He was trying to sneak his way out of Juan's room.
You saw my client. Are you sure about that?
Yes, see?
Really?
Annoying brat. When I say I saw someone, I saw that person.
Why do I get a sense of deja vu? Maybe to avoid a repeat of last year, I should delve into this a bit further. The person's face, what the person was carrying, the person's clothes. If you all remember the first game, the Steel Samurai case, I already mentioned this last time. Oldbag thought it was Will Powers because he was wearing the costume. Now, surely you would think she would know better now than to make the same mistake. But then again, if you know old people, the person's clothes. Please tell the court about the man's clothes in more detail.
Oh, what a troublesome man you are. Really, as if something like that matters.
But it does.
Now, what was it? Oh, yes, it was that thing.
What thing?
That gaudy thing he's always wearing. That racing jacket.
Oh, he was wearing that at the detention center too. Oh, maybe it wasn't that.
That thing's meant for nothing but seducing women out of their pantaloons. Humph. Men.
Right.
So, Mr. Wright, was this testimony just now important or relevant in any way?
Well, I don't... I'm like... Do we have anything for this, though? Because we know he said, too, that he was actually in his costume. He told us that. I remember that. Will increase murder. It's because of the button. Yes. Duh, of course. It was very important. Of course it was important, Your Honor. Then perhaps you would like to point out what part of that testimony was important. Objection counter, go up. Don't you see it, Edgeworth? Your Honor, I request what the witness said about the jacket be appended to her testimony.
I don't quite see where you're going with this, but all right. Witness, please.
Well, I don't like to badmouth anyone without a reason, but if I must... He was wearing his flashy racing jacket. Honestly, it's all just for show.
Are you sure the defendant was wearing a racing jacket?
What do you think? It's not like I've seen him in anything other than that horrible thing. I'm sure he was wearing it, like the man-slut he is.
She is so sure of herself that it's to the point of self-absorption. She may not remember things or be mistaken here and there, but I don't think she's lying. She's just incompetent. That's bad for us. Really bad. But that's how the human mind is. It also has the tendency to jump off topic. She's straight onto a few interesting side topics this time, too, hasn't she? But that's what makes her a sweet old lady, right? That's because you're not the one who has to question her. Alright. Fashion racy jacket. Is found in Ungard's Hakama. Now, I guess technically he could just be wearing his costume's pants and his racing jacket, but yeah, I'm pretty sure she's just lying. Hell yeah. Miss Oldbag.
What? Don't say my name for no reason.
Do you know what this is?
It's button number 2 on the Jamming Ninja's costume.
Now I know she's an obsessed fan. She identified it in a single glance. Also, how? Wait a second, do I have a picture of the... They look all the same. Also, how would that be number 2? Actually, that's dumb of me. I'm saying why would it be number 2, but it's Japanese originally, right to left. Yeah, that makes more sense.
Give it here. Give it here. If you don't give it to me, I'll punish you with this.
Wow. She really is a diehard fan to want a button covered in blood. This button was discovered on Mr. Ongard's body during a full body search.
See? This button proves beyond a shadow of a doubt it was that rascal Ongard.
Pop gun Oldbag. doctor. Don't let her know. Because she might be able to find a real one, and then we are all screwed. It was caught up in the pleats of his nickel samurai hakama pants.
See? And on guard is the nickel samurai.
Witness. Now, it may just be me, and I do have an active imagination, but just now, didn't you say that the defendant, Matt On Guard, was wearing his usual racing jacket? We'll just exterminatus the planet. That's probably a worthwhile sacrifice, really.
I'm so sorry. Sorry that you judge people based on what they wear. If I wore the trendiest dress, maybe you think I was the most gorgeous woman, but I have to put up with wings for these looking out. You agreed this outfit is hideous, right? I've got a tape recorder stuck on my chest. Let me tell you, it's heavy. So I wish we would have switched to C's ages ago. I'll give you that dream of life for all those kids out there. I was her with the smile on my face, you know? I said, if take a look in the mirror, your clothes are about as interesting as a documentary on curling. You should take a tip or 10 from Edgy Boo. Now he's got style.
Now hold your tongue still there for 1 second. So, what you saw in actuality was not Mr. On Guard, the man? But Mr. On Guard, the nickel samurai?
But when you think about it, they're really one and the same anyway.
Miss Oldbag, this is a very important point we're talking about.
Edgy Poo, do you think so too?
Well, it might be something worth considering. Just say it's important and agree with me for a change.
Witness, think carefully and try to remember as much as you can before you testify.
Alright, if you insist.
I should be the one sighing, not you. Witness testimony? Who I saw. Can I... Oh.
On guard. Yes, now I remember. The nickel samurai. That's right. It was the nickel samurai that I saw. Yes, it would have been convenient for him to wear his costume during the murder. He had to go to that post-ceremony stage show right after the crime, you know. So he must have worn that nickel samurai costume when he was stabbing poor Juan.
I knew it. I knew you'd say he was inside that costume.
What? Did you think there could have been someone else inside that costume? Don't be a bad little boy thinking such rude things.
But the possibility does exist.
Youngins today. I told you, there is no way it was anyone else.
How do you know that?
Because I said so, and what I say is the truth.
At least she's just as delightful a witness as she was a year ago.
Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness.
Who I saw? Cross-examination. Okay. So, it is past 2 o'clock my time, and I'm about tapped. And also, I'm pretty sure this is not the final testimony for Oldbag. I think if I wanted to try to finish this, I'd probably be another, 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. And I just don't think I have that in me. So, we will save. Judge, can you please charge her with some sort of crime? I mean, she had 10 charges of perjury, but that's only a $5 fine. So she just gave him $50 and moved on with her day. But thank you for hanging out with me. I don't know if tomorrow I'll... I guess if I was to stream after Katie probably does tomorrow, I could maybe finish this first trial day. I mean, we definitely finished this 2-1. I might even be able to get through 2-2. But I don't know. That might be a little bit too much, too. Either way, for now, I'm done for the night. Thanks for hanging out.